Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to the Daily Dose for Wednesday. What are we today? The 2nd of November. So I'm just working. I'm working remotely today, and I just want to give you an update of where we're up to with the app and give you a little demo of what we've been working on. So we're probably just over 4 weeks into the project, and David, Barry and I have had to learn AngularJS and Ionic in that time, and also get some progress on actually developing the JDP Beerbot app that we're working on. So I'll show you what we've got so far. And I want to show you from the perspective of 2 devices. So I've got one version of the app running in a browser here, and I've got another version of the app running in an emulator. So this is an Android emulator. So let's have a look at this browser first. So this is what the app screen will look like. The user can sign in with a variety of social media accounts, and we're using OAuth for the authentication. We've got LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, Twitter, GitHub, Dropbox, and Microsoft. The recruiters will need to sign in with Microsoft, as that's where they're verified to be Just Digital People employees. But for the moment, I'm going to take you into the recruiter page just with a temporary login button. So if we go into recruiter, now this isn't finished yet. So no styling's been done and the final layout hasn't been finished. But we've just got some buttons set up here where the recruiter can view their appointments, request an appointment, cancel an appointment. So we'll request an appointment. So if we go into a request an appointment, we'll see a form that we're presented with, and in here we've got some fields to fill out. So we can request from a candidate 1, 2 or 3 appointment times. So we've done that for convenience, so there's not so much toing and froing between candidate and recruiter. We'll just select one for starters, and we'll put in a test email address. We'll put the location as Just Digital People. We'll put the address as 160 Ann Street, Brisbane, which is JDP's new address. Let's put in a fake phone number, and you can see as we're entering data, it's being verified as it goes down to be suitable to use for the app, so it's not empty. For example, if we select the 1st of November for the date, we don't get validated, but if we select the 2nd of November, which is today, we do get validated. So let's put in a time of, say, 2 o'clock PM, and we're ready to send that information to the candidate. So from the candidate side of things, let's launch the app, and we will log in with, say, I know Facebook's set up to use a single sign-in, so we'll log in with Facebook. So that verifies the user of the app, grabs their email address, and takes you into the landing page. Now, if we had interviews lined up, confirmed interviews lined up, they'd be listed in the interview section. But for the moment, we don't have any interviews. And let's see what happens when we try and request an appointment from a candidate. So the recruiter hits the Send to Candidate button. And in the background, the app will process that notification, and for the moment I've got an alert running which proves that the emulated device has received the notification. And you can see in this data here that we've got things like time 1, time 2 and time 3. Time 1 we set to 2 o'clock. The candidate email, excuse me, the candidate email is the test email that we set. We've got date 1, date 2 and date 3. Date 1 we set to November the 2nd. The location address we set to 160 Ann Street. So that's good news. That means that the candidate is getting the request for an appointment. When the app's finalised, it will only be received if their email address matches the email address that Just Digital People are using for them. So there's a need to know which email address the candidate wants to use. We're doing all this serverless as well, so I'm trying to wrap my head around getting this working from client to client. So there's a few negatives to not using a server, in that we have to be a bit more... we need to make use of local storage. So, for example, if the app gets deleted, the candidate will lose all their appointments. But at the same time, we don't want to have to deal with server security and maintaining a web server, which will need maintenance and a cost involved as well. So there's bonuses and there's disadvantages to doing it either way. But this is what we're doing for starters. So that's the appointment received, and I've got a whole lot of alerts set up here for testing. So I'll just get rid of them. So we've got some other things that we can click on here. There's a order a drink button where the candidate will be able to order a drink for their interview, a tea or a coffee or a beer maybe even. And eventually we want to try and get Just Digital people to buy a robotic unit, where if the candidate's got a appointment at JDP, they can be served by the JDP BeerBot robotic unit. They can upload a resume here, and we'll also probably have an option to hook in a LinkedIn profile as well, so that the recruiter can access the candidate's LinkedIn profile. We've got a settings menu. Here the user can... This isn't hooked up yet. This is just a facade at the moment, but eventually you'll be able to turn on location services, push notifications, volume, change your registered email address, or sign out. Let's try signing out and see what happens. Yeah, so sign out takes us back to the sign in page, where if we sign in again, we can change our registered email. So yeah, it's still in progress. There's a lot of work to do, but that's what we've done so far. And we've got a meeting scheduled next week, well, soon to be scheduled for next week, hopefully, for a meeting with Aaron Thomas, the General Manager, who's going to have a look over what we've done and see if we want to go in that direction or another direction. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed checking out what work we've done so far, and we'll hopefully see you next week. See you later.